Guys, in this video we are going to see how to do the Laplace transform of a given function. Now let's look at the definition for the Laplace transformation first. The definition says, suppose f of t is a function of t, the Laplace transform of f is following function of s. Okay, so the Laplace transform of f is given by integration 0 to infinity f of t e power negative st dt. The only thing we have to do is we have to plug this f of t inside of this one. Other two things remains the same for every function. Okay, now let's look at this example. This question is asking, compute the Laplace transform of f of t is equal to t. Now what we are going to do is we are going to bring this integral. This is going to be integral 0 to infinity. Then instead of this f of t, we are going to plug this function. That's going to be just t. And then other things just remains the same, e power negative st dt. Okay, you can already see this is going to be integration by parts. And here we have to pick up u and dv value. Let's pick u as t. If we pick u as t, dv is going to be equivalent to e power negative st dt. Okay, then du is going to be equivalent to 1 dt, so we can just write dt. And then if we integrate this dv, that's going to give us e power negative st divided by negative s. Okay, and if you remember, integration by parts is integration u dv is equal to uv minus integration v du. Okay, let's continue this one right here. Here we are going to have u times v, that is t times e power negative st divided by negative s, and that's going from 0 to infinity, then minus integration 0 to infinity, then v du. V is e power negative st, e power negative st divided by negative s, then du is going to be just dt, right? Now let's look at this part. Here we have t, okay, here we have t e power negative st. If we plug infinity, this is going to become infinity, right? This one becomes infinity, and here we are going to have e power negative infinity. E power negative infinity is same as 1 over e power infinity. 1 over e power infinity is 0 because e power infinity is a big number. If we divide 1 by a big number, that's going to be 0, right? So this is going to be 0. So we are going to have infinity times 0. This is an indeterminate situation, so we have to apply L'Hopital rule. Now let's go ahead and do the L'Hopital rule. L'Hopital rule, we take the limit and say limit t approaches infinity, and then we write this function. We shouldn't worry about, like, we can avoid this negative s for now. So we just pick up this t times e power negative st, t times e power negative st. We can also write this one as t over e power negative st, and to apply the L'Hopital rule, we just take the derivative on top and the bottom. Okay, so this is going to be t approaches infinity. If you take the derivative on top, that's going to give you just 1, and if you take the derivative on the bottom, okay, this one should be positive because if I bring this one to the bottom, this is going to be positive. And if I take the derivative of this one, this is going to give us s e power st, and if you plug infinity for this one, this is going to be 1 over infinity because we are going to have e power infinity. So 1 over e power infinity, that's going to be 0. Okay, so when we apply infinity, this whole thing is going to be 0, and when we apply 0, this t is going to be 0, then e power 0 is going to be 1, but it doesn't matter because since t is 0, the whole thing is going to be 0. So this part is completely going to be eliminated because the whole thing is going to be 0. Now we only have to worry about this part. Let's get rid of this one. Okay, let's continue here. So this part negative, and since we are integrating this one with respect to t, we can move this negative 1 over negative s to the front because this is going to be a constant, right? So this is going to be negative negative, this is going to be positive because we already have negative in front. This negative going to make this one positive. We are going to have 1 over s, and then we are going to integrate this one 0 to infinity e power negative st dt, and if you integrate this one with respect to t, that's going to give you 1 over s times e power negative st divided by negative s. Okay, and then this is going from 0 to infinity. If we plug infinity was for this one, this is going to be e power negative infinity, and we know that e power negative infinity is going to be 0, because e power negative infinity is 1 over e power infinity. E power infinity is a big number, and we know that 1 over infinity, that's going to make this one 0. So this part is 0. Then we are going to have minus, and if we plug 0 for this one, this is going to be negative 1 over s square first, because 1 over s times negative 1 over s, that's going to make this one negative 1 over s square. And then if we plug 0 for this t, that's going to give us e power 0, and e power 0 is equal to 1, so we just multiply this one by 1, and finally we are going to end up with 1 over s square. And this is going to be the Laplace transform of the given function. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.